Hello everyone. I am glad to welcome you to the course dedicated to working in the construction module. This module is an addition to the basic platform and opens up additional capabilities upon purchase. In the first lesson, we will get acquainted with the axes and start drawing our first projects in the construction module. To start interacting with the elements of the module, let's go to the Construction tab. Here we can see the main command groups for working in the module. Also, on the left panel, there are tabs such as Objects, Library, 3D History, and the already familiar one, Properties. You already know that if you accidentally close the Properties tab, you can open it in the Manage tab or by using the Properties command in the command line or dynamic input. If you closed one of the other tabs, you can open them in the Library Objects group using the Tab Manager command or open them using the Tabs command. Let's enable only two tabs, Library and Objects, which we will still need in our work. For greater convenience, I suggest moving the Objects panel to the right and placing the Library below it. As always, every house starts with axes. When working with the construction module, we can build each axis separately, for example, as a regular straight line. Or we can create axes of unusual shapes found in the Axes drop-down list, such as a circle or an arc. If necessary, we can add a marker using Add Marker. Add a similar axis using Similar to Construction Axis. Rename it using Rename Construction Axis. Or when two axes overlap, separate them using separate axes. In our case, the most rational option is to use the construction grid, which is presented as an array of numerical and alphabetical axes. Let's create a new document and then use the command, which will open the Axes Array dialog box. In the window, you can clearly see two tabs, Alphabetical and Numerical. When switching between them, you can notice that the color of the axes changes in the Array Scheme window. This helps to visually understand which array of axes we are currently configuring. In the window to the left, you can set up the axis grid. Let's set the following step values: 3,200, 1,300, 1,900. We see that when adding new axes, the number in the total field changes. In the field with a size of 1,900, let's change the num value to 2. This value allows you to change the number of repeating axes without entering the step value separately each time. Let's add more sizes: 1,300, 3,900, 2,600, 1,900. As a result, we should have a total value of 18,000. Let's switch to the Numerical tab and enter the values: 4,000, 2,250, 6,000, 4,150, 2,500, and 2,400. In the end, we should have a value in the total field equal to 21,300. If you find yourself in a situation where you mixed up the alphabetical and numerical axes, you can swap them using the Replace Numerical and Alphabetical Markers command. The Copy Array command, located next to it, allows you to copy parameters from one array to another. Let's take a closer look at the settings. Let's pay attention to the Marking of Axis group. In the Location field, you can change the position of the marker. We can either place on two sides or one side, or disable them. When changing this parameter, the display in the Array Scheme field also changes. Disabling the auto-numbering checkbox allows for manual configuration of the axis names. For example, instead of the number 5, we'll place the letter D. Let's turn it back on. The incremental field allows you to set the direction of the letter or number changes. This is more visually apparent with numbers. Let's leave this checkbox active. The Start From field changes the starting value from which numbering or lettering begins. Let's set the value 11 in this field. As you can see, the starting number has changed. We can add the index C next to numeric or alphabetic values. Now let's move on to drawing the house plan. Let's place the axis grid in the model area. Now let's start creating the outer walls using the Add Wall command. To do this, we can open the Library panel, then the Architecture folder, then Walls, and in the Brick folder, we will select one of the walls. A wall symbol will appear at the cursor, and we can start drawing the wall. But before we start outlining the house, let's adjust the wall properties. To do this, in the command line, we will select the Properties option and access the Wall Material Settings dialog box. On the left, we can see both various general parameters and geometric ones. Let's leave everything as it is and pay attention to the Material Settings window on the right. We can see the existing wall layers. Let's add some new layers. We will set the width value for brick plating to 35, heat isolation to 100, and add a new layer plaster with a value of 35. Let's also change the brick layer width to 250. In addition to adding wall material layers, we can also adjust their position, add hatching, delete layers, create materials, and directly save, which is what we need right now. Without changing the name, we will save the layer and see that it has appeared in the Library panel. Now let's outline the next contour of the house, starting from the bottom left corner of the grid. An important point when constructing walls using the grid is to have the intersection snap enabled. If it is not enabled, you need to activate it before starting the command to build walls. Repeat the house outline construction as shown in the video. We have received the contour, and in the following videos, we will continue drawing the house plan with you. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to seeing you in the next videos.